Okay, welcome back, folks. Bismillah. Let's carry on with this exercise. So we're still on clip 101, grade C, MATHSWATCH CD. Okay, looking at this following three questions, all are based on non-calculator work. Okay, let's have a look. Bismillah. So, non-calculator. Work out an estimate for this. What we're going to do, we're going to round these numbers off to nice, I call them chunky numbers. So 32 will be rounded off to the nearest 10 to give us 30. Because it's closer to 30 than 40. 4.92, we're going to round this off to the nearest whole number. That'll give us 5. 0.21, if we round this off to the nearest whole number, it'll give us nothing. It will actually cause a question to fail. We won't be able to do the question. It'll cause a mathematical error. We can round this up to the nearest 10th. So that'll give us 0.2. So that's all my rounding off. This to round to the nearest 10. This we round up to the nearest whole number. This one round to the nearest 10th. Let's quickly write that down in a different color. So that one is to the nearest 10. That one is to the nearest whole number. That one is to the nearest 10th. Okay, that's just my room I'm working at. So we've got enough room to do the calculation now. Let's just quickly change color. Okay. Now we're going to do the calculation again now. So we can do now 30 times by 5. So we have 30, multiply that by 5, which is on top, divided by 0.21, which we can represent by 0.2. Okay. 30 times by 5, this is a nice easy calculation, which is 150 and not 60. And 0.2, we're going to change that into a fraction as 2 tenths. Okay, now when we divide by a fraction, we have to change the divide sign into a multiplying and second fraction upside down. If I write it over here, it might be a bit more clearer. So 150, we divide that by 2 tenths. So the divide, let's change color here. Whoops. Oh. So the divide becomes a times. That's the rules for dividing fractions. So that becomes a times. So we have 150 multiplied by, so the divide by 2 tenths. 2 tenths has to go turn upside down. This part of the fraction only becomes 10 over 2. Okay, folks, it might sound like a bit of a headache dealing with these 2 tenths. We're doing non-calculated. Well, it's not too much of a headache. You just gotta be, robust in your working out. So we now have 150, which we can write as 150 over 1, times by 10 divided by 2. 1 times by 2. So that gives us a nice answer on top of 150 times by 10 is 1,500. 1 times by 2 is 2. Okay. 1,500 divided by 2, what's half of 1,500? Should give us a nice, lovely answer. 750 is half of 1,500. And that should give you the right answer for question number 3. Let's move on to question number 4. Right, 3,880, that's already in the thousands, the number. So we're going to round this number to the nearest thousands to give us a nice and lovely 4,000. Okay. 236 here. We're going to round that to the nearest hundreds. 236. So we look at the largest place value in a sense and say, well, we round to that. So that's 236. So that becomes 200 to the nearest 100. So 4.85. 4.85. Now, again, the largest place value is the unit, so we round this on to the nearest unit. That's one way of us understanding these questions. So that becomes 5 to the nearest. So let's quickly write over there what we've done. So the largest place value here was the thousands, so we rounded to the nearest 1,000. Here the largest place value was 100, so we rounded to the nearest 100. Here the largest place value was the units, so we rounded to the nearest 1. Okay, done. Now let's put the calculations back in and see what we get. Okay, here we go. So 3,880 becomes 4,000. And we have 200 times by 5 at the bottom. 200 times by 5. Okay, 200 times by 5 will give us 1,000. And we got on the top 4,000. So we got 4,000 divided by 1,000. That's a lovely question, nice and straightforward. So when you divide that by 10, divide that by 10, divide that by 10, divide that by 10, we can simplify, and that gives us a nice, lovely 4 with no stress at all. Okay, folks, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do this question, try to fit in here. If I can't fit in, I'll have to go on the top. We'll draw a line here now, just to box it off the question. Because I can't move the page up, we'll lose all this text. So just bear with me for a second, please, folks, while I do some bit of engineering here. Okay, we have what color? Blue. So, okay. Right, so this is the area for question number 5. Just in case I run out of space here, I can go back over here without confusing anything. Right, here we go. So let's have a look. So 7.18, the highest place value is the units. So we're going to round this to the nearest unit. So 7.81 to the nearest whole number is 7. 19.7, the highest place value is, we're looking at, that's our units of tens. So we're going to round this one to the nearest 10. So 19.7 to the nearest 10 will give us 20. 0.47, the highest place value is the tenths. Round this to the nearest tenth, 0.47 to the nearest tenth, which is here. Look at this number, because it's 5 or more, we add 1. That gives us 0.5. Okay, right, I'm just going to go up here now. So we got here 7 times by 20 now. 7 times by 20 divided by a half, 0.5. So 7 times by 20, that will give you an answer of 140. 7 times by 2 is 14, add the 0 back on. When we divide it by a half, let's think about this again, we explained earlier. You have 140 cakes, you divide them into half pieces. How many pieces will you have? You will now have 280 pieces, which is double what you started with. Because if you divide each cake into a half, you have 2 pieces. You have 140 cakes, you have 280 pieces. And that's the end of this particular part of the video. Please join us back in the next video. Thank you.